All right, we're here with Alexander Papadakis. He went. What's your record today?
X1, second place, today's locals.
Nice. And what were you playing?
Branded Despia.
Branded Despia. Isn't that dead deck? Or isn't that? Yeah. Oh my God.
Deck is never dead.
Deck is never dead, huh? All right, let's get it started.
For starters, I'd like to give a shout out to my locals, Game Nation, and of course, Team How to Go XL.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. All right.
Let's get started. So first we play 3 Albaz. Kind of obvious. You always want to have one in your graveyard for whether free Rindrum in red plays or whether Quem. You always want one in deck for follow-up with Brand Infusion. And but realistically, your opponent's going to interrupt you in some places, or one's going to be banished, you're not going to have access. So it's always good to have the third copy, no matter what.
How many cards main deck, by the way?
Today is 46 card main deck. I've been experimenting a lot with different lists. This is the first time I've gone below 50 in a few weeks. I mostly wanted to see most of my non-engine while also not working as much, so I'm trying a more unorthodox build today and still experimenting. I'm not too sure how I feel like in general, but today it worked out pretty good, so I'm happy with that.
Cool.
Next, 3 Alibur. By far your best normal summon. Before the limit, there was an argument to maybe play 2 to reduce on normals, but he is by far your best way to get to Brand Infusion. And then 2 copies of Cartesia.
Damn, the Starlights.
What can I say? She is amazing. Polymerization, but better, searchable, is responsible for so much of your follow-up. I never thought you needed 3, simply because even in 50 card builds, you don't really want to open her by herself, because unless you have a way to get Albaz in graveyard, you can't special summon her to get protection from Imperm Veiler for Alibur. So it's better to actually open Fusion Deployment, who can special summon from deck, or if you have the option, maybe pitching Albaz or Albion get engraved to special summon herself. That's also good, but you don't want to clump and see 2 of her in hand either. So 2 is good. And then 2 copies of Quem. So Quem is, she can be a bit annoying to draw in your opening hand sometimes, but not awful. And you can, even if you open her plus Alibur, there's ways to, through High Spirits, get access to Kit, put one back. And I always see myself wanting to get the second one in the grind game and follow up. So I can't see myself clearing the 1. And then we play 3 copies of Albion. I don't know why anyone ever said we should play less than 3 of this. It's literally Foolish Burial plus Upstart Goblin. Too good, too good. Plus Albaz Engrave, his name being Albaz Engrave actually comes up sometimes through, like I said earlier, Cartesia, or through other means, being a Dark Dragon, also good for Furious plays as well. 1 copy of Kit. It's a normal summon technically, but you also special summon if you have Fusion Dimensions Albaz Engrave Field, and you can recycle your banished card as well. So it's good, but not enough to play more than 1, I think. 1 copy of Lubellion, and then 3 copies of Soranir. I've seen some people say they want to play Magnamut or Jerusalem, or even Boldrake, but my problem with those is opening those going first doesn't help you at all in your game, because they're just hand traps for you, or Dark Dragon. But Soranir is that, plus it helps you get access to your Branded Engine, because it let you jump Brand Infusion or Retribution, or whatever else you need. Lubellion, this card is broken. Brand Infusion, send Lubellion, and Albaz make Albion insane. 1 copy of Mercurier, the Monster Negate plus Banish, Search, anything that mentions Albaz, really good. 1 Tragedy, it's a brick, but I can't see myself cutting it, whether through just getting extra search through Foolish or Gold Star, or through follow-up plays by banishing reset your Brand Infusion, now that your access is much more limited. Onto the spells, we play 1 Brand Infusion, please Konami, bring back to 3.
It's never coming back.
Please. 1 copy in red. I never see myself wanting to get 2. It can help sometimes to dodge Imperm Veiler, but I also don't want to clump my hand with cards that don't let me start playing either, so I think 1 is enough. 1 copy of Lost. This card is broken. Not being able to respond on summon, negating anything that would prevent the activation of fusions, insane.
Fuck law, ban this card. This card needs to go.
No. 3 copies of Opening. It's an extender, it's a starter, it's insane. That's you get do Oliver or Quem. Really good.
Protection engraved too is crazy.
That's true.
Against Detonator. This is the card.
Even some of the mental players, the Fusion, that was do pop.
Yep.
This comes up a lot to protect, especially in more dire situations. This is not exactly standard, but I wanted to test 3 High Spirits. This card is basically Branded Fusion 2, if you have it with Sornier or even another Dark Dragon. The ability to pitch Sornier, search Albion, that's already Branded Fusion, but then you also dump like Titanic Light or Albion to get access to Branded Red or Quem in end phase, so it's just more ways to play through Ash. 3 copies of Fusion Deployment. This card is broken. Free special summon of Cartesia. Sometimes Albazon going second. This card is insane. And then for board breakers, I play 3 Super Poly, 3 Droplet, and 3 Eclipse. It's a bit heavy on board breakers, but I don't really consider Eclipse so much a board breaker, more so as protection against Imperm Veiler going first, and sometimes even going second against some boards that aren't as layered against Eclipse. Droplet, it's really good whether to dodge targeting effects, so through your normal summons, or even on Branded Fusion against like Drill Beam or other heroes like Desiree. So I really like that. And Super Poly, it's a really good card, I think, just being with free dodge, Imperm, Veiler on Albert with opponents Light or Dark. That's really good. I don't have Fuloses. If I did, I would probably side the Super Poly and just replace Fulos. Card advantage goes insane. Helps a lot in the Murmur matchup. Enough said there. And then play 1 copy Gold Sark, 1 copy Foolish, consistency cards, enough said. Call by. I want to see this every time I see an opponent has an Ash Blossom. And 1 copy of Banishment and 1 copy of Retribution. So Banishment, it helps a lot, especially now it's actually more your standard turn 1 board, where you have Mirror Jade plus Lubellion with Albion Grave. You set this so that you can make Lad, 3 Omni Negates with Lost Search off your Mirror Jade still, off just Oliver. I think that's really good. Retribution, mostly it's for the graveyard effect to add back, but there are also times where you use the effect to shuffle back and destroy as well, if you're able to get match resources. So, I know the pig in the room, elephant in the room, sorry. No thrust or duplication in the main deck.
Where is it, man? Where is it?
It's spoilers for later, but thrust going first can be a brick. There are a lot of hands I find where I open thrust and just no way to play, or if I do, I die to 1 interruption, and most times it's Imperm, or even sometimes now it's Dominant Impulse coming up.
Yeah, I noticed all your board breakers are all quick effects.
Yeah, it's just any way to try and dodge hand traps.
Yeah.
So I feel like thrust I'm testing right now in the side deck only for going second, and similarly for duplication for going first. Cause
how did it treat you today going at locals?
Today it was fine. I didn't think I missed thrust game 1 because it is really good going second, the ability to search talents or Branded Fusion. But I feel like the board breakers I had were good, general enough for locals meta, at least here. People to get at least a good enough amount of interruption breakthrough. And then just going second, you just side everything you need in.
Yep.
Before we get to that though, let's go to the main deck. Okay,
you move out to the side, yeah.
So, best boss monster to Mirror Jade. I've seen some people say play 1. I do not agree with that at all. Whether it be through Unicorn Rip or just because you have a grindy matchup, I always want to see the second one. So, never listen to anyone who says play 1. 1 Lubellion, really good card to show back your resources for Mirror Jade, for myself, unless a grind game. I played 2 Grangwin. There is more merit, I'd say, to cutting this to 1. I personally like 2, whether because the grind game, the Cartesia is fusing away, or through High Spirits, because you can go High Spirits, pitch Cartesia, or dump the Grangwin to search for an Albaz name. So that can get you whether to start through Kit, or even your opponent's turn, just to get Grangwin Grave so you can banish some Quem from deck, or Proskenion, or if you choose, or Quirtus match your deck. So I really like 2. 2 Albion, you definitely need to play more than 1. Do 1 on your main play, and sometimes even just the Mirror Jade, or to Albaz Fusion on your opponent's turn with Quem or Renbrum. 1 Titanic Clad, get access to Quem, that's pretty much it. Sometimes some Albaz, but primarily Quem. Rinbrum, this card is really good, whether you choose to do it through dumping it to Mirror Jade or High Stress with Mercurier and Oxford hands. But also a bunch of times I find where I really like making this, because the effect is actually really good. If you have enough resources to make Mirror Jade plus Rinbrum, you can go Mirror Jade effect to dump Albion or Titanic Clad, and then go Rinbrum effect to negate the Mirror Jade, balance a monster from your hand if you want. So like, for example, if you haven't even used Lubellion, you don't intend to go with the Lad line, you can bounce back Lubellion and go Lubellion effect to search a Sornir, or if you choose to play other Bestios, you can do that as well. And since Mirror Jade was negated, it's still live on your opponent's turn, but you still get the dump for your end phase. And then, this card is insane.
Lad.
3 Omni negates, people complain. Really good, really good, really good. And something that actually is really funny is that if you have Lost Up and this still has a negate, you can go activate Branded Fusion. This is mandatory to be chained to, so that's technically Ash blocking. And since you have Lost, it prevents the negation of Branded Fusion, because it's only tries to negate the activation effect. So that's a really funny effect too. Another thing to keep in mind is, if you have this on field and Mercurier in hand, if your opponent goes a monster effect, this is mandatory chain 2. So Mercurier won't actually be able to negate whether you have Mirror Jade for the condition, because your opponent would have to basically go chain 3, another monster effect, and then you can Mercurier, or you have to outlad yourself, whether it be through Cartesia in red or any other means of just getting off the board before you can negate. So there's just something to keep in mind. 1 Chimera, really general, I like it. In red, add back, make this, pop some back row. It's just also really good when you don't have really access to Albaz, and more so your Despia side of the deck. So it's also disruption for that. 1 copy Stapelia, whether this be through Azamina or sometimes even Desiree, just to clear the whole board, even if they out it, it's fine. Also just, like I said earlier, through in red, Banishment, or even Cartesia, fuse away with Mirror Jade and a Dark. Bring this out, Quem, bring back Mirror Jade. A bunch of different lines. 1 Proskenion. This card is really good. Make all your opponents attack 0. It's good for trying to OTK. And it's really important also in the opponent's turn, because if they're not careful when they out this outside of battle phase, you can summon Albaz or Despia from deck. So you can either go for more follow-up, or another way to disrupt through Albaz Fusion away. I main decked the 1 Masquerade. This card, I found myself wanting this a lot game 1, so I decided to test it in the main deck. I'm not against playing the side deck either, but I just want to try and test and see my options.
Did it come up today?
It came up not in game 1, So I guess an alternative option would be to play Chaos for Blue Eyes, because that card is really good, but I found some Blue Eyes players play around it just going the 1 Seals nowadays, I find. But you can also play like Mud Dragon or Garura instead of Super Poly Target. That works perfectly well too, and just put this on side deck because it also puts pressure on your opponent, because they can sort of misplay almost, because they think they have more life than they do. And then this just keeps on stacking, and it can sometimes cause them to get nervous and misplay, make a suboptimal play to try and out this early. 1 Furious Dragon. This card's really good. It's a continuous way to out back row. It's not just like a Chimera or Chaos where it's on summon, so it's just really good, I find, especially for if you ever come with stun matchups. Really good for that matchup as well. And then for the side deck, we have the Malisate, 3 Lancia.
It's the Christian hate. What do you mean?
Yeah, Christian, you're right. And because, as I said earlier, the locals infested of Mermail, Droll, Fulos. If I had Fulos, I would cut
I don't
Droll,
see any Mermail players.
put back to Super Poly and just replace that. That's all I would do there. And then, so I do side 3 Thrust, 1 Talent. As I explained earlier, I don't want to sort of brick almost going first, so I'd rather try and max my consistency as possible. So I decided to side these. Every time I go second, put these in no matter what. 2 Xyz Encore. This is for Ryziel. I find with the 46 card list, I don't need to see 3 as much, because it's more matchup specific. As I said earlier, Lancia can be used for both Malice and Crystron or other rogue matchups, whereas this is more for a Detonator Dweller, just to try and out that. So that's really good. And then I play 3 duplication.
Why
So
3?
So because you don't want to open the thrusting hand going first, it's technically a brick. You still really want to see this going first. If we knew for a fact we were going first, I would probably main this at 3. Because there are even times back in the Snake Eye format where I'd main this at 3. But ever since Fiend Smith came out, if you don't out the Fiend Smith, this just does nothing, man. And I think the power level of the format has gone up since then, because before it was more so Snake Eye's follow-up that you had to worry about. It wasn't so much negates and that kind of disruption. So every time I go first, I just side 3 this in. You can use this on primarily Brand Fusion, but something most important to keep in mind, you can also target Fusion, Deployment, Banish it, Summon Cartucho Albas from deck, so that's another cool fact. And even Super Poly as well. But this only copies the effect of it, so if you, for example, target Super Poly, they can still respond to that. But another fun fact is that they cannot Ash Ball Smith if you use this on Brand Fusion, so we love that. And then, yeah, these are just tokens, and that's it.
Alright, any final shoutouts?
Shout out to Locals Game Nation again, and shout out to the best team, Team How to Go XO.
Alright, thank you.